Well, hello, boys and girls, past, present, and future versions of ourselves. This is Mr. Archer with you again here today. And this morning, I woke up thinking I just had my first consultation with a psychic medium yesterday. And I don't know how many of y'all believe in that sort of phenomena. Take it or leave it if you will. Personally, I think the human brain is a very powerful thing, much more so than we have been led to believe throughout the course of our lives, many of us. But it's very encouraging to talk to someone of a similar mindset sometimes well, when we talk to ourselves so often, hence the infinity mirror is here. But the thing about talking to ourselves is that as crazy as some of the shit that we come up with may very well be, at least we don't necessarily have to explain what we're talking about to ourselves because we already know what we're talking about. As much sense as that makes. But so I'm going to continue reading from the journal, Transdimensional Travel and the Philosophical Search for a Scientifically Spiritual Truth. And this one I came up with on 3/17/2021, and it is entitled Effects of the Sub-Microscopic upon All Macroscopic Perspectives. This writing is in reference to a PBS Spacetime video that I saw on YouTube the other day entitled The Secrets of Feynman Diagrams, which truly inspired me to see and more deeply consider the entangled relations of all energy and how it interacts with its own particle/wave function probability cloud, as well as how every aspect of it affects every other aspect of itself, no matter how perceivedly large or small, as viewed by the observer from a sub-macroscopic to a perceived macroscopic state of existence. Another lie that they try to tell us is that the electromagnetic interactions which take place between particular particles on this level of subatomic existence don't really affect things in our size-sealed perception of this physical reality because gravity has seemed to convince us that it plays the more important role in this production of the own story of our universe's being than we do as the perceivedly weaker force. To this thought, I respond that from our perspective, from this early juncture in space-time, it could be argued that any one of us could be said to be able to view at least two infinities to begin with, if only we look for a second, those being infinitely larger and infinitely smaller as viewed from our own perspectives in spacetime. And yes, with all due respect for the concept of the Planck scale in the spirit of simplicity, in order to allow us all to function and make some sort of semblance of sense of this interpretation of reality, the fact remains that it's not necessarily entirely correct either, because they just got tired of chasing infinity and wanted to simplify their equation with an incorrect conclusion in order to condense it into something which looks mathematically pretty at first so that they could sell it and be done with it, even though it still may not be correct. I think the point I was trying to get at, though, since we are in imagination land and can do as we please right now, is that we're going to inflate the perspective of our own views and perceptions within our own infinitely universal minds and consciousness, and view the earth from the eyes of a consciousness which views the blink of its eye as a momentary glance, which vision spans throughout eons of light years throughout space and time. From this entity's perspective, if it truly cared to look deeply enough throughout its own universe into what it may or may not perceive to be its own self-defined subatomic realm of particular existence, per se, it may well view each individual on Earth in accordance to the seemingly random and chaotic ways in which we humans tend to interact with one another and our environment as a species, in behaviorally and energetically very similar ways and inflate infinite variations as to the particles within the Feynman diagram. From such a perspective, we may very well be subatomic particles. There's something to think about, boys and girls, from the standpoint of the one who views it that way. And since observation affects the outcome of any given wave function, who's to say that we're not? And if we are such particles from such a being's perspective and ourselves realize how plankishly small we truly are in size and scale as viewed from the greater perspective, who's to say that the macroscopic world we experience from our own standpoint in the midway of our two Earth-viewed infinities isn't more affected than we think by the movements and interactions of those things which take place in the quantum realms of what many seem to see as too small or deeply intriguing to pursue a more precisely accurate truth. Thought of the day to ponder, boys and girls. 12/24/2021. So I guess I must have spaced that off for a few months before I finished it. I don't know. Time is a weird thing, boys and girls. I don't know what to tell you. I didn't well, it's not so much time as our perception of time that we should consider. Anyway, thought of the day for this early morning. I love you all, and we shall talk to you later. Bye for now.